Hello again. Being a decorator, I've spent quite a bit of time, too much time, in fact, on Facebook forums. But there is a question I see come up time and time again, and it's about pricing. People seem to be getting a bit stuck on, how do I price for this and how do I price for that. So today I thought I'd show you how I come up with my prices, how I put them together, and the process I go through. It may be right, I don't know, it may be wrong. And if it's wrong and you've got a different way and you think it's better, please comment below and let everybody know, because we can only get better by sharing stuff. So yeah, see what you think and let me know. Okay, let's have a look. I've got to take you over to good old Excel. So see you there. Okay, here we are in Excel. Thanks for meeting me here. Ignore this bit up here. I don't know what offers are done, but I'm meant to be resubscribing to something and I can't remember my email or password. So yeah, just don't want you to think I don't pay my bills. Well, I don't really, because I don't know, like I say, I don't know my password. But anyway, right, here we are. Now the way I work out my pricing is I've timed how long each process takes and then worked out my labour from there. It sounds a little bit complicated, but let's get into it and I'll show you how I did it, or how I do it. So what I do is when you go into a room, what are the processes that you need to be doing in a normal room. So generally you do the ceilings, the walls, windows, skirtings, doors, door frames, and radiators. Normally that's pretty much a standard room for most of us. We'll walk in there and that's what we'll see. There are a few the occasional maybe radiator cover, and bits and pieces of that, but generally this is your bread and butter stuff that you're going to come across all day, every day. And then for the hall stairs and landings, I've included a time for spindles, stringers, and doing a handrail, which is generally what you find there. And because I hang wallpaper, I've also taken some timings for stripping wallpaper, sugar soaping afterwards, hanging lining paper, hanging rock wool, and pattern wallpaper, general ordinary wallpaper. So that's where I've based my timings on. So that's your foundations. That's basically where you start. So you've got that, and then what you do, or what I do rather, is then break each area down into the other sections of work that he's doing. So on a wall, generally you fill it, you rub it down, you dust it off, so you prepare it. Excuse me. And then you apply a first coat of emulsion and a second coat. If you're doing new work, then you probably want to add in here a mist coat. I don't do very much new work, so I don't really. I've not really got a time for it. But if, like I say, if you do new build work, definitely put a mist coat in there. I don't generally time for cutting in, because I put cutting in with the first coat and the second coat, because you're just asked to go in and cut in a room, are you? Cutting in is part of, in my opinion, the first coat and the second coat. So yeah, I haven't included that. But if you feel like you need to, then by all means, time yourself cutting in and see how it works out for you, see how long it takes. But yeah, so that's in a normal room. I've also timed myself doing the work in a staircase, because it's different conditions. It's a little more difficult. You're up and down ladders, and it takes a little bit more time. Same again for ceilings, normal room, and in a staircase. Windows, I do it per square metre. Just measure the window and then work out a per square metre rate for painting windows, because they're normally pretty much all the same. Skirtings per metre, I do it by. Doors are each, because they're normally, the ones I normally come across are the normal 6-panel ones, the Hellner's ones, B&Q sort of ones that you get. They don't really change very much. So there. Door frames, I just do them as each. If I've got a double door frame, then it's 2, or 1.5, however you want to look at it. Radiators I do by square metre. Our good old friend spindles, again, stringers, handrail, sugar soap in the wall, and I don't very rarely do it, but I've also got to time myself doing it on a ceiling. So, you know, basically the thing is, if you come across something that's unusual, it's probably worth getting a time for it. So you know, for the future, you know how long it's taking you to do it. You've got a record of it, you know. So, excuse me, yeah. So I'm stripping walls, stripping the ceiling, and then again, like I say, to hang the prepare the walls before wallpapering or lining or whatever. So these are things you want to be timing yourself on. All these things I've timed myself on. I generally do it take three different times, you know, over 3 different jobs maybe, just to get an idea, because you know, some jobs you may be on, you can be able to get on, you know, cracking on. Other jobs, you know, you might have an extra chatty customer and it's going to take you longer. So you know, do at least time yourself 3 times to get a good idea of, you know, how long things are taking you. So once you've got that, I know it does sound long and drawn out, but it's well worth it, believe me. So you've got your timings, and like I say, don't use these timings because they're not excuse me, they won't be very useful to you, and you might do it quicker than me or slower or whatever. So yeah, do your own, don't use mine, basically. So yeah, there's all your timings, you've got them in there. So to get your per square metre labour rate for rubbing down and preparing a wall, what you do is you go there, where's your time, the time taken by, I've jumped ahead of myself here, sorry, I forgot the most important thing. How much, over this side here, how much do you want to be earning a day? Let's say for instance it's £150 a day. Typically, well, we work an 8-hour day. Well, you know, typically we work an 8-hour day. I'm trying to be professional, so let's go 8 hours. So that'll give you £18.75 an hour, and what you do then is divide the hourly rate by 59 to get your minutes. So that equates to 32p a minute. So now back to where I was. If you go up there, you times 2 minutes by 32. So to prepare that wall, fill it and rub it down, is going to cost you in labour. We're not talking about materials, that'll come in the next part, but in materials that's going to cost you 64p. No, sorry, in labour. Get myself confused. In labour it's going to cost you 64p. So, and then what you do that for all these down here. There is a quick way of doing it. If you go there, times, then go over here, when you get that, the X, if you go to the $ and put the X, or whatever figure, or whatever number, or whatever letter you've got there, either side, you should be there and be able to just draw, copy and paste that down there. There you go. So that gives you all the prices. That will save you doing that sum all the way down. So once you've got that, you'll have a table that looks something like this, with all your prices in, all your labour prices. So in another video I'll show you how we can add in the materials, the sundry items you're going to need, like masking tape, white spirit, also a bit of profit, and also you can then, it'll give you like a timed, it'll give you hours to get the job done. So when the customers, you know, when the customer asks you, you can more or less tell them down to an hour or so how long the job will take. I wouldn't advise doing that because you're always going to come across problems, but you know, you can look a little bit more professional because you are, you know your numbers, you know exactly where you are. So I hope this has been helpful, and like I say, in the next video we'll be looking at adding materials in and just building this up so that you've got a good basis for your pricing, and you're treating your customer fairly, and you're coming away, you know, knowing that you can each job your price. You're not just guessing. You know, you've got a real good understanding of where you need to be. So Great. I'll speak to you soon.
Well, I hope you found that useful. Next time we're going to be looking at putting the materials in, like I say, and adding material costs in, and sundries and general bits and pieces that people don't actually really think of to finish off getting our prices together. So yeah, if that's something you look forward to and you think it'll help you, then click subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Thanks a lot.